Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode, which I'm so excited to be here for. Today, I had some guests on. They are from ClearStem Skincare. I've recently connected with them through email, and they were sharing with me all about their passion for helping those who struggle with acne. And a lot of their journey it's just so intimate and personal on how something outside of ourselves, but still part of our physical body, has impacted them emotionally, socially, physically. And I thought it was an important episode to have here in case anyone is struggling with that. They offer a lot of great resources to support anyone that's going through this, whether it's through their products or just their free resources that they have on their website. We're actually going to link them in the show notes. But in this episode, we got to what clog pouring ingredients are, which I naively really didn't know about until recently. How there are other issues that are going on aside from acne, and sometimes our approach could be a little harsh when really we need to figure out what's going on within and then be able to use the right products that are specifically for us on an individual level that could support us. So in this episode, I had the two founders on who shared all about the start of their company together, the start of their relationship, how struggling with acne impacted their lives, and how they were able to really overcome it and clear their skin and create this life. They referred to it as like having their life back that wasn't controlled by how they looked or the acne that they were battling for so long. So I hope you find this episode useful. If you know anyone that could benefit from it, please share a link. You could always share the link to the podcast with them. But otherwise, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and I'll see you on the other side. All right. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Thanks so much for spending some of your time in New York here with me.
Thank you.
Oh, we're so excited to be with you right now.
Do you have a busy time here?
Boy, do we.
Yeah, really.
We got in. Yeah, we both got in over the weekend. Actually, super grateful. Danielle and I were both in Italy for weddings last week. So it was nice, just instead of flying all the way back to the West Coast, we got to stop in New York.
Amazing.
And we have a week full of events that have been going on. We completely transformed our hotel room into a ClearStem spa. We're basically throwing events there every single day where we have media interviews. Danielle's doing ClearStem facials on everyone. And then we had a big photo shoot yesterday for some of our new products. And we're on a masterclass tour right now of the country, hosting like 40-person large masterclasses. And so tonight we're hosting a big masterclass at the Well.
Wow,
so that's our big New York masterclass.
So nice. And who would come to the masterclass?
So it's a mixture of community members. Some of our ambassadors are there. But it's so fun. So we set up everyone has their own station of a mirror with an LED light. They have all the ClearStem products, and we educate about root cause of acne while we guide them through a self-guided facial with all of our products as we educate about it. And then we break for bites and drinks and hang out, and there's other activities to do. So it's a really fun way to get in touch with our community, have them use all the products, and hang out for a couple hours.
I want to hear about how your journey began. I feel like skincare is such like an intimate journey typically because it is just something we wear every single day and it's what faces the world. And I feel like there's always such a deep connection to like the skincare we use or for founders in skincare. So I would love to hear from each of you what guided you to this.
Yes, it is so intimate. So we both struggle with acne. I struggled with acne and still do. Very, very acne prone. But basically it started when I was in college and just got like grade 4 cystic acne all over, like face, chest, neck, back, like everywhere. So I wound up going to, what do? You go to your derm. And it started this cycle, this decade-long cycle of just being put on prescription after prescription after prescription with no information on the actual root causes of why this was happening. I was also a biology student at the time. I was doing everything to go into pre-med because I love the human body. So I was studying genetics, immunology, biology, and struggling with acne. And I would go to my appointments and they weren't able to answer any questions about diet, what I was using, how does alcohol impact acne, like stuff that is very basic. But instead I would just leave with prescription after prescription. So I was put on multiple different birth controls. You know how that goes. spironolactone for years, antibiotics for years, stronger antibiotics for years, getting all the side effects. And over the course of my 20s, I did Accutane 3 separate times. My acne came right back within a couple months because of pore clogging ingredients and because of a couple things I was eating, but mostly it was because of pore clogging ingredients. So lo and behold, I'm in the corporate world and I'm about 30. My acne has come right back again. So I was like, screw this, I'll have to figure it out myself. So I was looking for information on skin. You couldn't really get any unless you were an esthetician or in esthetician school. So I enrolled in esthetician school at night, fully intending to just get what I needed to learn and bounce. But while I was there, I saw that treating acne was actually the medical profession I'd always wanted but didn't know existed. Because of what I went through, I decided not to go to medical school because I was so disenchanted with our medical system. So it was like a full circle moment. I left my corporate job, learned under a ton of people in San Diego. I worked at med spas. I worked with lasers. I did microneedling. Like I learned everything you could. And then I started San Diego Acne Clinic. Still have that clinic. It's in La Jolla for wonderful estheticians that work with me there. And Kayleigh here was one of my first patients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when I met Danielle, I was working a full-time corporate job, but I was so passionate about wellness. I decided to go to school on the side, get my degree in nutrition, and I loved it. I love root cause. I love helping other people within their wellness journey. And during this wellness journey that I was going through, I decided to get off of birth control. I was like, you know what? I was 24 at the time. I'd been on birth control for 10 years. I got put on at 13, 14 years old for acne and mood swings. I mean, what 13-year-old doesn't have mood swings going through puberty? But so I went off of birth control, and within a few months, my skin broke out with bright red, inflamed cystic acne up both sides of my cheek, down my neck. It was so unbelievably painful. I never dealt with acne like this in my life. I dealt with very typical teenager acne, and through college, whiteheads. I would use like really drying, harsh gels on my skin to just dry the crap out of it. But I'd never dealt with cystic acne like this. And it was like pustule cystic acne. Not everything even came to a head. There was like blood in some of it. It was really, really rough. And so at first I started putting myself through all my own protocols, all the elimination diets, all the different cleanses. Absolutely nothing was working. There was zero change. I knew nothing about skincare at the time. Most people who like go through any type of nutrition program, you're not taught about pore clogging ingredients and what it means for external skin health at all. So I was just looking for anything that would help with acne. When that failed, I went the completely clean route, and I would just go to different like clean beauty markets and buy every single clean product that could possibly help with acne. When that didn't help, I walked into Sephora, I walked into the dermatologist. Like I asked for everything, and no amount of skincare I was using was working. So that's when I decided, all right, this had been 8 or 9 months. All right, I guess I've extinguished everything. I guess I have to go to the doctor. And I went to the doctors, and I went to multiple, and they all told me the only way to solve it was to go back on birth control. I didn't think this was an option. And also I was hysterically crying in the doctor's office, just trying to understand like, what is wrong with me? Like, what's causing this? I get that you're trying to write this prescription, but how is this actually going to help? Like, there's clearly something wrong. I got no answers. When I didn't want to go on birth control, I was given the option of 6 months of antibiotics. With all the schooling I had done, that did not make sense to me. I was like, why would I do something that would negatively impact my gut for my acne? So when I decided I didn't want to fill any of those prescriptions, I went to the dermatologist, and the only solution was Accutane. And more months have gone by. I didn't want to leave my house. I was packing on like the thick clay theater makeup. I was canceling plans. I was not hanging out with friends. It was a really tough time, because when I looked in the mirror, my face like looked disfigured from all the acne. And so I was starting to have an identity crisis with looking in the mirror. And through all of this,
How old were you at that point?
I was 24. And no one was talking. I mean, on Instagram, stories didn't even exist at this time. It was basically like blogs, and people would like post pictures on Instagram. But because this was 2015. So honestly, I thought at this point I had no other choice, that I had to go on Accutane. I was like, it's against everything that I believe in as a core with trying to figure out the root cause. But I felt like I had done everything. So I started the process to go on Accutane. It's a 30-day process, because you have to take multiple pregnancy tests and So in that period of time, right before I was ready to get my prescription, at one last Google search, I found San Diego Acne Clinic, Danielle's clinic. And I happened to be her last client of the day, and we just geeked out for 3 hours.
Aww.
She had me bring in every skincare I was using, every supplement I was using, because 2015, this was like the height of biohacking. So I was taking so many supplements at the time as well, unknowingly, because there's supplements that in excess can actually trigger hormonal acne, which is so powerful for women to learn, because a lot of times we're told to take more and more of everything. So I removed all pore cloggers. I removed all of my supplemental triggers from me self-inducing hormonal acne, and I removed just the main dietary triggers. I did not go on a restrictive diet. Eggs is one of the biggest acne triggers for someone who is actively dealing with acne. So I removed eggs for a period of time. I removed dairy. And I removed gluten, and I was already having a lot of issues with gluten. So that was kind of already on its way out in my own personal diet. So really it was eggs and dairy that I was removing. I didn't find it challenging to remove pore clog. I mean, after I did all the pore cloggers, dairy, eggs, simple, got on a proper skincare routine, learned how to exfoliate. I was only using 4 products that Danielle recommended at the time, which inspired our now clear kit of only 4 products that create the biggest change in people's skin, because we do not want it to be overly complicated for people. So those are the only changes I made. And in 2 months, I went from aggressive, bright red inflamed cystic acne down my cheeks, down my neck, to completely clear skin. And I had a tiny bit of leftover pigmentation and scar damage naturally from that amount of acne. But at the time, Danielle was formulating what is now our Cell Renew serum with the growth factors in it and all the healing properties. And my scar damage was completely gone another 2 months later from using the original Cell Renew serum.
Yep.
Wow. What are these pore clogging ingredients?
It's a tongue twister, I know.
Yeah. What? Because I heard you both mention them.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing to understand if you are acne prone. So pore clogging ingredients, very simplified, they are filler agents that are thicker than our natural oil. They go into our pore and they harden, and they're so thick that we can't naturally sweat it out. So it forms like a plug, and it just stays there and hardens and oxidizes and becomes what we would call a blackhead. Or if it's on a thicker part of your skin, like say in your cheeks or, chin, basically anywhere else, the plug happens deep in the pore, and then our skin just keeps growing on top of it. And that's where you get inflamed acne, and that can go cystic. So the root of all of it is pore clogging ingredients in the pore, creating this little seed that is too thick to be sweated out. It mixes with our own natural oil, our own natural dead skin protein and all that. And there's more things that create acne, but most people are being impacted by pore clogging ingredients, and they have no idea. There's about 100 of them. And they're like just random chemical names, most of them, that you would never know to look for. Even dermatologists aren't trained on this. Isopropyl myristate is a terrible pore clogging ingredient. Ethyl hexyl palmitate, that one's in a ton of makeup. It's things like that you wouldn't even know how to pronounce. You don't know what it is, but they are the filler agents in nearly 95% of cosmetic products, and they are wrecking people's skin.
Why are they in there?
They're cheap, they have a long shelf life, and they don't immediately create an allergy. That's what brands care about. Cheap, long shelf life. Is anyone going to have an allergic reaction like a rash? Nope. Okay, great. That's their filler agent that they use.
So is the filler to literally take up space?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes in
So
clean.
it's not like a preservative. It's more to like volume?
It's the volume.
Okay.
Yeah, the filler agents are about 95% of most products.
Yeah.
And this isn't
Especially
like
lotions.
there's some people that are on social media that aren't educated on formulation.
Most.
You need a bit like it would be weird if there was 95% of active ingredients in skincare. Your skin would honestly probably have reaction freak out. So like it's normal that like the actives are such a low percentage and you need a base to carry them in. It's kind of like when you put electrolytes into water, like you need that base of water. It's like people freaking out that you have to add electrolytes to water and being like, oh my gosh. Because like there's people on Instagram that are like, it's only 5% of the formula that's so bad. And it's like they don't know anything about formulation.
Or they're like, oh, there's water in it. Like, everything has water in it. Even cake has water in it.
Like how you have water-based makeup and silicone-based makeup. Like you have to have a base for those active ingredients to go in and then be delivered and carried into the skin correctly and for the skin to recognize and absorb them. So that is very normal. There's just pore clogging fillers and bases and non-pore clogging fillers and bases.
Yeah. So from that day when you guys met, did you continue to be her client for a while?
I did. Yeah. I had a lot of extractions to work through because it was I don't have my phone on me right now, but gosh, it was really aggressive. Like, so Danielle was every other week. It was too painful for Danielle to do extractions in one session. So I had to come back every other week to extract everything out while I was using the products to heal my skin at home.
If you look at the ClearStem Instagram page, her before and after is pinned.
Yeah.
You would never recognize that it's her.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't have makeup on today. It was like, when I look back on pictures, I almost forget that was my skin, honestly. It was a really tough time.
Yeah.
It was so wild that like really one of the big differences was switching out my products for everything non-pore clogging, skincare, makeup, hair conditioner, and then the big supplemental triggers. But it feels so crazy that for a year I was going to so many doctors, dermatologists, estheticists, like everyone you could possibly imagine, walking into stores asking people, and no one had ever mentioned, have you checked your ingredients for pore clogging ingredients, and start there.
Yeah, it's not widely known at all, and it's not taught. It's not even taught to dermatologists. Like, it's very much, you have to be an esthetician, and not just that, you have to be an acne specialist and really have an understanding of chemistry. That's why it's like, it's the big secret, right, that like no one's talking about, but it's the most important unlock for people who have acne. And we created a checker. We had a developer actually create an online checker on our website where you can copy and paste the ingredient deck to whatever it is you're using. Like, say it's your moisturizer, right? Most moisturizers break people out. That's why people with acne are so scared to use lotion. But if you can just copy and paste your ingredient deck into it, it'll tell you in red if there's a pore clogger. And you're like, great, not going to use this anymore. You swap it out for something that's free of pore cloggers, and voila, your skin is instantly better.
Where can people find that?
On our website, we built the checker.
Wow.
Just like on our menu bar, pore clogging checker. And then we always recommend for people who are struggling with acne, lay out your skincare, makeup, and hair conditioner. Have them all in front of you. Go to the website, click full ingredient list, just copy and paste it into the checker. It'll show up red which pore clog, if there's a pore clogger, and which one it is. That way, let's say in your entire routine, you find 5 products that have pore cloggers. Perfect. You now know the 5 culprits to the external root cause of your acne, and you can easily swap those out for products that don't contain pore cloggers. Of course, all of our ClearStem products don't contain pore cloggers, but when it comes to makeup, we give a lot of recommendations for our community on where to start for makeup and other products that they want non-pore clogging that we don't carry.
It's so interesting because I was just recently in my shower. I was at an event this summer, and they gave a shampoo and a conditioner, and on it they said like pore clogging ingredient free,
I
or
love
however they did it. But then I started to get confused. I'm like, wait, is this for my skin or is this for my hair?
Yeah.
And then I realized, I'm like, no, some products that aren't for your skin get on your skin and they can clog you. And I was just looking at this the other day and like putting all these pieces together. So for the makeup, you said like very often they could have, which is crazy.
Right?
That like that's actually you're trying to make your skin look good and glowy and better, and then it's actually going to do the opposite. Do you have any off the top of your head that are really good that you recommend?
Yes. Our favorite acne safe makeup line is called Priya, Priia. The owner is very similar to us. She had an intense acne journey herself, and she's an acne specialist. So she formulates and will only reformulate to be free of pore clogging ingredients. But on top of that, the products are fantastic, but they also have anti-inflammatories, which is a big part of healing the skin. And we carry, we put a lot of anti-inflammatories into our formulas as well. So we just love that she went ahead and did that. So we always go back to Priya. There's a couple other brands out there that have some acne safe things. It's hard to know if they know that they're making it acne safe or if it was just a happy accident, and we don't know what it would look like if they reformulated, because brands reformulate all the time. So the Merit Concealer Stick, as of today, what's the date today? October 4th, 2024. That is, as of today, acne safe. And there's also some from Say Beauty. And then there's also Rare Beauty
too. Westman Atelier sticks.
Oh, I haven't used that one.
Yeah, the Westman Atelier sticks are non-pore clogging as of today.
As of today. And then there's some from Rare Beauty, some foundations from Rare Beauty that happen to be. So it's the thing with pore clogging ingredients is it does not matter if it's clean. People think clean equals acne safe, and it does not mean the same thing at all. Clean only refers to like toxins and parabens, which is also a very important conversation, but it doesn't mean acne safe. So we want people to really realize that and use the checker if they want to make sure that something they're using won't break them out.
Yeah. I know there's so many buzzwords, and you go into Sephora and you see all these different things of like what's clean or what's, and there's I feel like right now in today's day, whether it's the beauty industry, the food industry, there's just so much work that we have to do as a consumer.
Oh my gosh.
To make sure that we are getting what we truly want to put on or in our body. And it's great to have experts like you guys helping and supporting us in that journey, because it can be really overwhelming.
Beyond. No, we could not agree more. That's truly what we feel like is one of our purposes on this earth. So when it comes to acne and educating, to simplify it for people. It can feel so complicated. It can feel so overwhelming, so frustrated. And a lot of times by the time customers find us, they're exhausted.
Yeah.
They've gone through acne, Accutane. They've tried all the prescriptions. They've tried every skincare that markets towards acne. They're just so tired, and we want to be that place of relief for them. So we try to paint such a clear picture for people on where to start. So when people go to our website and they take the skin quiz of like what products to start with, they also get an email of recommendations on where to start. So we talk about the pore clogging ingredients list and link right to the checker, have them start there. We talk through what are those excess supplements that can trigger acne. We talk through the top food ones. That way people don't have to go through a million elimination diets, a million cleanses. They can just start with the top triggers of acne. Yeah. You can go like further down the rabbit hole with all areas of wellness. I've been there. You can do the gut cleanses, you can do the parasite cleanses, but for the person that's already so overwhelmed and trying to do all the things, it's nice to give a really simple place to start. Let's just start with the top triggers of acne, remove all of those, get to a baseline, and then we can go deeper if needed. But for most people, for like 80 to 90% of people, removing the pore cloggers, removing eggs for a period of time, and the top supplements, and just learning how to exfoliate properly,
Game
90%
changer.
of that, 90 to 100% of their acne is gone. Like it's, yes, there's a bio-individual component to it. We have acne lab testing where we do blood work with people for acne that get to that really bio-individual place of acne, whether it's mold or underlying infection. Again, those really specific things. But we don't ever recommend people start there. It can be too overwhelming. Let's start with the basis and just get to a clean slate of when you remove all those things, where's your skin at?
Yeah. I also wonder often how like putting makeup on affects us as well in the aging department, not just like how it can impact us with acne, but I always think like all of the stuff that we're putting on our face probably like it's not meant to be there. We want it to be there because it helps us to look beautiful and glowy, but I feel like it's so important to let your skin breathe, and just having these like really good products on it that can nourish the skin. I know it's you go in to do one thing, but then sometimes it's actually doing the opposite and like accelerating, whether it's the breakouts or aging. So you guys mentioned having a really strong way or having the understanding of how to exfoliate. Can you talk about that more? Because I personally never know. I go really intuitively. I've been using your cleanser, the scrub, that I've been liking. I have another one that I use sometimes that has like the BHA. I love that one from my esthetician. But I use everything very intuitively. Like I'll feel when my pores need to be clean. I'll use a glycolic toner intuitively when I feel like I need it. But what would you recommend for exfoliating?
I love the intuitiveness. I actually was just thinking this morning I need to do some content around thoughtful exfoliation. You can treat different areas of your skin differently, and you want to be able to have tools in your arsenal, right? You want to have a physical exfoliant, which is the scrub. Make sure the scrub is not too harsh or incredibly drying, because then you're just going to damage your barrier while you're trying to get rid of dead skin. So pick a scrub that feels more like a polish. Ours is like sweet little bamboo beads, essentially, and it's in a moisturizing base, so it respects your barrier while it's sloughing off, dead skin and giving access to the pore. Then you also want a chemical exfoliant, which is the AHAs, the BHAs. We love mandelic acid. We've been using that for over 5 years now. and we cocktail it with turmeric and green tea for the anti-inflammatory benefits. So we love mandelic for acne. It's actually great for everybody, but it's kind of the Goldilocks of acids because it's stronger than a salicylic, but not as irritating as potentially a glycolic could be. So it's kind of that sweet spot, right? So basically you want to do a scrub gently for call it 10 seconds, maybe a few times a week. Instead of doing it once a week for a minute, you can space it out. Say do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening, and do it for 10 seconds. You're better off doing it a small amount, but consistently, so that your pores are consistently being cleared and that cell turnover is being consistently managed. Then on that same night is when I suggest that people do their acid, because basically when you scrub, you're giving access to the pore. That's where the congestion is. It's deep inside that pore, that follicle. So the scrub is essentially like the gatekeeper, gets rid of the top layer of skin. Then whatever you put on next has direct access to your pore. That's when you put on your mandelic acid. In our line, it's called Clarity. It's the yellow serum. It's freaking amazing. So you put that on your skin, let it sit alone for about 10 minutes. If something is an acid, anything you put on afterwards is probably going to neutralize it. The pH of that product is generally around, call it a 3. And moisturizers are generally a pH of 5.5 or higher. So the moment you put something else on, the acid, the pH level rises and it's not dissolving the congestion inside the pore anymore. So that's why you let it sit alone for about 10 minutes. Go do something else, make that part of your self-care routine, do your journaling, what have you. Then you come back and you can layer your hydrating steps. Then you just go thinnest to thickest, serums to moisturizers to acne safe oils.
Wow.
But knowing how to be intuitive with your exfoliation and doing it consistently is how you control your skin for both acne and for aging.
Wow, that was so informative. I'm taking notes because there's so many products to use and to choose from and different things we're guided to, but to know the order in which we should use them is really key.
It's critical.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are using great products like great acid serums, right? An AHA blend, and it has all the things, but they're not layering it properly and they're getting no use out of it. So an acid serum is basically going to eat whatever it's touching. So if you put something else on your skin first and then put it on, it's just going to eat that. What you want it to do is eat away dead skin, eat away brown spots, eat away scars, eat away the congestion in the pore. And then when it's done eating in about 10 minutes, then you layer on your hydrating stuff and your peptides and your growth factors. Think of it like exercise and nutrition.
Interesting. What are peptides?
They are little messenger proteins that tell your skin to fix itself.
Okay. And where are they from?
They can be from a lot of different things. There's a lot of different peptides. People know about copper peptides. What's the, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. Hexapeptides, there's tripeptide 38. There's a bunch of different ones. There's another one called, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name, Matrixyl. People know the one Matrixyl. There's a lot of different peptides out there. And they're basically just collagen stimulators. And that is beneficial for both anti-acne and anti-aging because it helps for acne-prone people, the peptides help the barrier repair itself and it helps to repair the damage done by the acne. So that's very important. And then for anti-aging, it's also stimulating collagen so we don't get as many fine lines and wrinkles. So we absolutely love peptides. And then other growth factors like stem cells are fantastic as well.
So how long was it that you guys were working together and then you actually started to work together?
I think it's so hard to go back in time because it all was just happening very naturally at the time. Because when I met Danielle, I had a podcast and a blog at the time and I was learning so much with her. So I was having her on the podcast. We were talking about it more. I was doing a lot on Snapchat stories at the time because Instagram stories didn't exist. So I was sharing a lot of this information. People really needed to know it. Danielle had started to formulate our Now Cell Renew serum. And then we just naturally started working together more. And then one day we were just let's combine this all and let's make this a company.
It had a life of its own.
Yeah, it really did. It just started to
so cool.
it really pulled us in. I was more of the what would you say, outward educator, via podcast blog. Danielle was growing her clinic rapidly.
Yeah, I was seeing 12 clients
She was booked out for 6 months. You would have to get on a 6-month wait list. And then also developing the serum. And then I would also share it with friends. It was I think the perfect way to say it is it pulled us in and it really congregated everything we were both doing for a bigger purpose to reach a wider audience and more people.
Amazing. And how do you think you've been able to grow and reach this wide audience that you guys have?
Providing value.
Yeah.
Just really giving it our all, providing value. Our why is very, very clear. Hearing the transformation stories from people, and not just what it did for their skin, but what that did for their life.
Yes.
Like, I was in a fairly abusive relationship when my skin was at its worst because I didn't think I could do any better. I literally passed myself over for a promotion. I would cancel things. I think I canceled my 29th birthday. Like, literally, it was supposed to be at the beach, and I had cysts all over my chest, and I was like, I'm not going. So I canceled it. Like, it really affected my life. So I remember every single day what that's like, and hearing that other people's lives are being given back to them is like the finest fuel ever. So I think just remembering our why, living our why, and then just making it intentional to enjoy this crazy freaking journey. Like, we have the best
Making it
team.
fun. We truly, our team has so much fun together. Like, we love hosting live events, get in person with the community. Like, we don't want to just be these founders building a company from behind a computer. Like, we love being in touch with our community. We love to experience things with our community, to share the excitement, to share the growth. And I think that's what's made it so special and fulfilling with this whole journey.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I was taking from what you shared in the beginning of our conversation, all that you're doing here this week and how you're connecting with the community and how you find that passion through other people's stories and from your personal experience, and how that all comes full circle. Because like sometimes in this digital world, we kind of feel like we're just like broadcasting,
like shouting into the void.
Putting out
oh my gosh,
and people are buying them, but it's different when you actually like connect and like hear their story, have an in-person event that you're doing. And so cool that it's at the Well. I love it there. So aligned.
They're the best.
So awesome
I scheduled my facial there for on Sunday to kick off the week, knowing it was going to be like a very overstimulating week. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go bliss out at the Well and see you on Thursday for a big masterclass.
I booked mine for Saturday at the end of our big week.
So perfect.
I love
forward to
it. Yin yang energy.
Yes,
right?
we are. They're the most yin and yang. It's so
amazing.
special.
We really are.
Yeah.
And like it keeps evolving that way.
Yes.
Too. It's so fun to watch.
That's amazing. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing such amazing work. I personally loved trying your products, and I can't wait to continue to use some of my favorites from there. And I'm so grateful for all that you do and how you're really helping people transform from the outside in, inside out, and have their life back and the confidence and in the skin that they feel most comfortable in, because it plays a role. How we look and how we feel can be really closely aligned. And, you know, there's a lot of inner work that has to happen and the outer as well. Yeah. And allowing that to match and looking as good as we feel is so important. So thank you for sharing that and doing it. And I'm so grateful that you wanted to share with my community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. I felt like it was super informative, whether it's acne, something we struggle with, or just the idea of aging gracefully or learning the correct way to exfoliate or apply products was something I'm definitely taking away from this episode. So if you're interested in any of their resources, we're going to link them for you below in the show notes. You could access them there. We're also going to share a code and a link with that code if you are interested in trying any of their products. I've been liking their Bounce Back Serum, and they just shared a new serum with me. It's like a watermelon one. I'm not sure of the actual name, but I have it in my bag, which I'm excited to try. So those resources will be there for you. And I just want to thank you so much, as always, for being here and for tuning in. May the long time sun shine upon you. I'll see you next time.